when you did the plug and chug, what is 2 times negative 3 plus 2? What'd you guys get? Negative 4. Okay, so your final answer would just say f of negative 3 equals negative 4. Now the second one, that one's a little bit trickier just because of that negative sign out front. Let's see, 9, negative 9 minus 3 would be negative 12 plus 12. You should get 0. So if you did not get 0, you typed something into the calculator wrong. You might have left off this negative, you might have left off the squared. Something you did isn't right. Now for number 3, when you're solving a two-step equation, how would I solve that? What's step 1? Subtract the 12 from both sides. So 24 minus 12 is 12. Bring down your equals and bring down the 2x. And then we divide by what? Divide by 2. So what's 12 divided by 2? 6. Okay, so anytime it says what is x, you should be leaving x in the equation, plugging this in as your answer, and then doing like a two-step equation. Okay? That's page 1. Go ahead and turn it over, because then a good majority of the next problems are all, is it a function, yes or no? Okay, so what did you guys say for number 4? Number 4 would be a function, yes, because no matter where you draw a vertical line, it only crosses the curve one time. What about number 5? That would be a no. This part would be fine, so that vertical line only crosses once. But anywhere else you draw a vertical line, it's crossing twice, and that is not okay. So this is a yes, this is a no, using the vertical line test. Okay, what about number 6? I mean, I think I had already pretty much given you that answer when we were talking about it. Is 6 a function, yes or no? Okay, that one's no. This one's not a function. So you might want to write this down. Not a function. The reason is 1 has what? Well, it has 3 different outputs. If you guys tell me that something is not a function, you have to tell me which number is the reason it's not a function. This one is not a function because the number 1, the input of 1, has 3 different outputs, and it can't. It's only allowed to have 1 distinct output. How about number 7, yes or no? Not a function because of which one? Negative 5 has 2 different outputs. So that would be a no. When you have those 2 written down, turn the page. Okay, so tell me about number 8. Is 8 a function? I see two x values of 3, and they have different y values. So that is not a function. Reason, the number 3 has two different outputs. All right, number 9, what do you guys think about that one? This one is a function. What would the reason be? None of the what? None of the x's do what? None of the x's repeat. If you say something is a function, that right there is a good enough answer. But if you say it's not, you have to be specific. You can't say, well, some of the x's repeat. You have to tell me which x did you see multiple times and that it had how many different outputs. How about number 10? Look right down this column. I see nothing repeating. So that automatically is a function. And again, it's because none of the x's repeat. Number 11. Okay, I see these two right here. Isn't that a problem? Those two? Not a function because of which number? 2 has two different outputs. All right, now we'll do some different stuff here on the next page. Number 12, they're asking for a domain and range. So for 12, when you guys list out your domain, there's only 3 different numbers. There's a -5, there's a 4, and there's a 5. You do not have to list the 4 3 times. When you make a list, we just want to know all the different possibilities. So there are your 3 possibilities. For range, same thing. If anything repeats, you only have to list it once, and you still need to put them in order least to greatest. So the smallest one was -7, then -4, then 0, then 1. So make sure you guys have the domain and range correct on number 12. And then 13, I'm going to do the same thing. Here's your domain. Those are actually in order, -6, -5, 1, 2, and 7. And then for the range, we've got -7, -5, -4, 0, and 5. Okay, number 14. 14 and 15 are what we were doing today on our notes. So to find the x-intercept, I just cover up y. What is this equation? What would that equation say? 2x equals 15. So all we would have to do is divide by 2. Now look, it's not a whole number, but that's okay because I'm not having you graph it anyway. What's 15 divided by 2? 7.5. Okay. Then for the y, if we cover up x, what would I write for my equation? 3y equals 15. And when you divide by 3, this one does give you a whole number. What do you get? 5. Okay, good. So 7.5 comma 0 is the x-intercept, and 0 comma 5 is the y-intercept. And then I'm going to do number 15 the exact same way. For the x-intercept, I'm going to set 2x equal to negative 5. Divide by 2. What's negative 5 divided by 2? Negative 2.5. And then for the y, we're going to set 5y equal to negative 5. And we would divide by 5. What's negative 5 divided by 5? Negative 1. Okay, now I'm going to show you on 16 and 17 how you would actually do this, because here's the good news. The y-intercept, like this right here is slope-intercept form. So if you look at this number right here, the plus 2, that's automatically your y-intercept. Like we already know one of them. Same thing over here. This minus 4, that would be your y-intercept. Because this is slope-intercept form, so they've given you one of them. The problem is the x term, okay? So the way this is written, I cannot find x yet. What I have to do is when we're looking for the x, don't we usually plug in a 0 where the y is? Okay, so watch. You guys need to do this. This one's a little trickier. We plug in a 0 where the y is. How would I move a plus 2 over? Subtract 2. So we have negative 2 equals 2/3 x. Now you guys did do some of this last week. We need to divide by 2/3. So when you guys type that in, you make sure you start with negative 2 divided by, and then do 2ABC3. And tell me what you get for x on that one. You should. If you guys actually type that in correctly, you should end up with a negative 3. So the good thing is when it's in slope-intercept form, you already have one of your answers right off the bat. But finding your x is a little bit harder than it was up top. And then we're going to do the same thing for, number 17. We're going to just plug in a 0 where the y is, and we're going to solve for x. So how would I move a minus 4 to the other side? Add 4. So 0 plus 4 is 4. And then we have to get rid of the 7/3. So that's the fraction that we're dividing by. So be careful when you type that in, that you type it in as 4 divided by 7ABC3. That's going to be a decimal. What is it? 1 point is a lot of digits.
Yeah, it's 1 5.
Oh, they gave it to you 1 5/7. They gave it to you as a mixed number. That's okay. We can do that. We can do 1 5/7. Yeah, whatever the calculator, if it gives it to you as a, the reason it gave it to you as a mixed number instead of a decimal is because we use the ABC button. So that's fine. No biggie. Just when it comes up on your screen with like a number and then a U and then a fraction, it's just a mixed number. That's all it is. Then we're going to do this last problem together. Okay? Because we have to write the equation. So it says a dining hall charges $35 per person. So remember that word per typically gives you like a hint as far as to where the letter is going to go. And a setup and cleanup charge of $250. Write the equation in function notation with C of P. So C of P is the cost depending on how many people are there, equals, they want the total cost. So it's 35 per person. So you guys would just attach that letter P to the 35. And then what else do they have to pay? The $250. And that's in addition to it, so it's plus $250. If they wanted to know profit, remember when we do profit, we'd probably have to subtract that, but since they said the total cost, you're adding all that stuff together. So then, down here when it says, how much is it going to cost when there are 10 people? Where do I plug that 10 in? Where the P is. So we would do 35 times 10 plus 250. And you guys would just type that into your calculator. This one here would be 35 times 20 plus 250. And then this one would be 35 times 100 plus 250. So that is all plug and chug. So go ahead and do those for me now, please. Everybody should be picking up their calculators and typing that in. I need some answers here. 600 right here, and that's a cost, so I'm going to throw a dollar sign in front of it. 700, yeah, 950. $3,750. Good. All right, now the bottom two, instead of them giving you the number of people, they're giving you the total cost. So it says, if the total cost is $775, how many people went? So where do I plug the $775 in? Huh? That's not the number of people. That's the total. So it goes here, it goes out front. So it's 775 equals 35p plus 250. That's the two-step equation kind. Just like this one, it'll be 1475 equals 35p plus 250. So for both of those, what's the first step to solving them? Subtract the 250. Yep, that's what we're going to do first. So we would have 525 equals 35p. And then what do we do to finish that up? Divide by 35. And then on this one over here, I just subtracted my 250 to get 1225, and then I'll divide by 35. So the steps are the same. I just need you guys to tell me the answers. So 525 divided by 35? 15? So that would be 15 people. And then how about 1225 divided by 35? 35 people. And then that, I think, is it, right? There's nothing on the back? Yep. That's the last problem of your review. So what you guys will want to do is you'll want to make sure that you'll look through this review tonight, study some, make a page of notes for your test tomorrow.